Because it matters to me hugely. I think it does for many of us. I feel apprehensive about how little is being done. And it's been a concern of mine, to be honest, for a really long time. Obviously, the situation has become critical, and I don't feel that we are doing enough about it. But I am also conscious of how hard it is to respond, because we can all do little things, and make sure that we recycle and behave properly. But in the end, it's almost too big for individuals to deal with. I just feel that we have to keep talking, keeping the topic alive. I mean, one of the wonderful things about theatre is that it is a live form, and it's a present art. When we're engaged in theatre, we are in the moment, we are in the now, and that's what makes it, for me, really powerful. And so the kind of exchange that we had last night, where we watch something, where we see live people on the stage, living, breathing entities, and then we follow up by saying, what do we do about this? And we do that with a live audience, and it's a kind of an engagement that can flow and go in all sorts of directions. And for me, it's that live dynamic which I think makes theatre so potent. And I really love that. I love working in that form. It's a bit like playing God, actually, being a playwright, because you sit at home writing these kind of, what in the end is a kind of two-dimensional kind of concept, isn't it? You write words on a page or on a screen, and but the thing is, you're actually writing for a three-dimensional experience. You're writing for life. You're creating a life. You're anticipating a life, and so it's very heady. You get, it's very heady. I'm not really sure about that. I mean, the play Luna is really about, deep sea mining, and so in all of the plays I've written, it does address the issue that is bigger than the individuals, and explores how they might respond to it. I do think that most of the work has to happen with governments. I mean, we can do a lot as individuals, but we've got to vote the right people in. That's where the big changes are going to happen, not through, I don't believe, individual action. I think we've got to have an oversight, an overview of intelligent people who are driving action. Because we can do our best at the moment, but we've got a government, really, it seems to me, a lot of them are, I wouldn't say they're climate deniers, but they don't care about the climate as much as I do. So I do think we have to work on both levels. One is on the individual level and doing, making sure we recycle and we speak to the right people and we engage in discussion. But in the end, I think democracy is really important. I think that we make sure that the people that we are voting for are doing the right things, and that they are joining these international organisations and making sure that we are behaving well in terms of our green future. One of the plays I've just written, which wasn't in the show, was really about a bunch of millennials, I suppose, who are setting up I love this idea of the greening of the city. I've always wanted us to do that, much more maybe in Auckland or Wellington. And they do that by, getting big organisations, getting local government on side, but it's a massive operation in the end to get the funding, to change the infrastructure, so in a way you are working with individuals, but you're also working on and anticipating that you've got to work on a big scale. And I think we have to do both. I think theatre is not especially. I mean, I love Ibsen and I love those political plays of the 19th century, which were about feminism and to some extent green politics as well. I love theatre because it can contain political ideas, and it's always been a medium of dissent. it creates permission for dissent, for disagreement, and it's partly because it allows the dialectic. And I think that's what my plays were doing last night. They were saying, well, on the one hand this, but what about this, and just allowing that argumentation to evolve through the narrative, so that in the end you're kind of going, oh yeah, okay, you've heard the argument and you have to sort of decide for yourself. Theatre does that beautifully. I think it does it so much better than any other art form, and it's got a long history of doing that, really. And I was very interested in plays of the 1950s and 60s, which were very political, highly political, and I think just about all the best plays I've ever seen have a strong political edge. So it's not new. It's just exploiting a medium that does it well. Oh, hundreds! I'd love it to go around. Yeah, I mean, and hopefully what I'd like, because it's not really about my plays. It was always about what can we do about climate change, and here's a bunch of kind of narratives that we can use. Always the idea was to open it out to other writers, other directors, and make it maybe a national concern. But that's for the long term. I would love that. To set up a load of conversations all over the country, starting in Wellington and then moving further afield. I think so. There's a wonderful organisation that I've been working for called Climate Theatre. What's it called? Climate for Theatre Action. And they what they do is they ask playwrights from all over the world to write plays. Those plays then get put into a pool. Anybody can perform them, and then they get put into an anthology. Right. It's wonderful. That's working brilliantly. It needs a lot of funding. But yeah, that's setting up all these wonderful conversations worldwide, so it can be done. You need dosh, that's the only thing, you need money.